the field trip to the aquarium with the special ed class where that girl shit herself. That was a fun field trip. That's not even a bad field trip.
That's the type of thing I would call up a friend and be like, I can't believe you were sick today, bro. Shelly, Shelly, she shot herself. In front
Her name was Michelle, I think.
Michelle.
So close.
Shelly.
I had a feeling.
So my mom taught special ed.
Recognize Reet.
My mom taught special ed, and she was like, Kyle, do you want to tag along with my group of special ed students to go to the aquarium today? And third grade me had no like social awareness, and I was like, the aquarium, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. And so I just tagged along with all the retarded kids.
That's awesome.
You have no, sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
My favorite thing.
No, go ahead.
There's no part of you at all, that looks back and you were like, was I retarded too?
Yeah, was it? Did they take me there because I was supposed to be on the retarded field trip, and that was how they broke it to me?
I was a retard. I was retarded. I did in the first grade when everyone was like learning like how to write out all the letters of the alphabet. Miss Monroe would come, and she took me, Newton, and Douglas. And Newton was like 5 years older than us for sure in first grade. Douglas was like, even though I didn't have the word for it, I was like, this kid's retarded. Like, I don't know what I said then, but
you manifested that word like it's goofy.
Yeah.
It's retarded.
And sometimes like I did things and I was like, I'm retarded. But I had the Miss Monroe would come and I'd be like, peace bitches to like everyone that my buddies over there, because they're going to be writing the words. And I would go with Douglas and Newton. We would like roll clay balls and she'd be like, smooth out the cracks. And I'd smooth it out. And I was just like, you guys are stupid. Like, my life is so much better than yours. And then at the end of the first grade, I remember the teacher being like, and this was really fucked up. This is like 1992, but it's just fucked up. And I remember it so clearly. She goes, everyone passed except for Douglas and Newton. And I was like, oh my God. I thought that I would have had to repeat grade one because I was everywhere with Douglas and Newton. When Douglas and Newton did something, I was there with them. They're rolling clay balls. I'm there with them. An adult is wiping their ass for them. I'm there with them.
You're holding the role.
Like every step of the way. And so I thought, when like as I got older, I mean, like, you know, I look back and I was like, I guess I was kind of retarded at the beginning.
You were borderline. They didn't know. They didn't know which path you were going to take.
Exactly. Maybe they were doing like they were running the litmus test on you, the aquarium retard litmus test. Yeah. They're like, bring him too.
Dude, did he shit himself? No. Clean drawers. All right. Fourth grade it is. The rest of you. Go to the closet.
It is wild how similar. I've mentioned on the show before, so I'll be quick. But
no, we're all retards.
I was
not all of us.
I was also in retard reading in kindergarten.
Retard reading.
Yeah, it was me. It was me, Joe, and Travis. And Miss Huffman would say, "It's time for reading. Taylor, Joe, and Travis go to the Miss whoever." And then we would go over there, and exactly the same. The reason I got in trouble is because I figured out I memorized like Susie's Red Bike instead of learning what letters did. And then she gave me a different book one day and I started reciting Susie's Red Bike and she busted me. And I remember thinking, like, even in my head at 5, like, you're going to have to learn this eventually. Like, you can't fake it till you make it your whole life. And so I got taken over there and we didn't have clay balls, but it would be the easiest shit ever. It'd be like, Joe, what's wrong with this sentence? And it'd be like, dog, no eat. And then he'd be like, it should say dog not hungry. And then he'd be like, no, close, like Taylor. And he'd be like, the dog is not hungry right now. And then they'd be like, that's perfectly structured. Here's a Tootsie Roll. And I'm like, dude, I'm banging on all cylinders here. Because next to Travis and Joe, I was fucking Steph Curry, swish, didn't miss, constant aces, high fives from the teacher. I'm breaking the curve in the retard reading course. And then I got pulled out of it and they put me back in the regular class before the end of kindergarten. That's so funny that we were all retarded.
Oh, dude. My story is a little bit different. I was in high school and I met my best friend this way. Shout out Samantha if you're watching, listening, whatever. But she just kind of saw me in the halls in high school, and she's like, "Oh, that kid's kind of cute. I think I'm going to try to talk to him." But then after like a couple days of seeing me in the hall, she said that she thought I was retarded, so she didn't talk to me. And I said, like, what? Well, glad you asked. Me and my friends, we were just, I don't even know how to describe it, just terrible people. So we would go into, for example, like the restroom, and we just start screeching like pterodactyls. We would just walk around making awful noises like that.
I have an extremely loud scream. It sounds like I could sound like literally like in a horror movie, like a woman screaming at the top of her lungs.
Oh, like
and I used to walk into the school bathroom,
we all
scream as loud as I could.
It's funny, yeah.
And then I'd walk out normally, like nothing happened, and I didn't even
that's what I would do.
And I'd walk and do my thing while everyone's like looking at the door, like, what the fuck happened in there?
Me and my buddy Brandon would walk in. We would sometimes get in a stall with somebody in the middle taking a shit and just start pterodactyl screaming on both sides while this person's taking a shit. We would walk out, and then we'd start making other noises, and she's just like, that kid's retarded. And then like after a couple weeks, somebody had asked about me, or she asked about me, and they're just like, no, he's not retarded. He's in like advanced English. Like, what are you talking about? He's just autistic or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he's the only guy in the world who writes some shit on the wall but uses semicolons.
Yeah, he was reciting Shakespeare in there with a turd in his
two
hand,
independent closets.
Listen, I don't want to put you on the spot, and it's totally not a big deal. It's like not even important, but you look like you still have that pterodactyl screech.
I still want to do it in public.
I mean, you're more than
would you bang one out for us
where somebody will hear it?
I mean, no pressure. You don't even have to.
I'd like to see personally who has the better screech.
Okay.
People are gonna hate this.
Scream.
People are gonna crash to this.
I disagree. People are out there like, are they gonna do it?
They're turning their volume up right now.
People love that in podcasts when people randomly scream.
Well, it won't be random. I'm calling for it.
All right, here we go.
You know, it would be in fairness, it would be better with the resonating factor of the bathroom. I can see what you're going for, but the same way singing in the shower, you get that bathroom scream, you're gonna get some resonation. I bet it's pretty respectable in there.
Imagine that with two
that was like
people,
a velociraptor nutting.
A little bit, yeah. I'll go with that.
Something we used to do, and it was literally to one guy, and it was my buddy Alex. I saw him just last weekend. He's still a close friend of mine. But he, one time in the locker room, like after gym or something, someone was taking a shit in the public bathroom, the bathroom, and he like wetted paper towels, formed him into a ball. And he's a very tall guy, and so he would just reach over the top and he was pelting this guy with big wads of wet paper towels while he was trying to take a shit. And then we were all showering, and the guy comes out with like bits of wet paper stuck to him, and he's like, dude, stop fucking throwing shit at me. And we're all laughing about it. But then we all decided, like, you know, no one's ever done. Let's just agree we all only do this to Alex. And so like regularly it'd be like in the lunch period, and he'd be like, I gotta go take a shit. And so like he'd get up, and then like I'd be like, I'll take it. And then I would get up, go to the bathroom, and just like firing these things at him while he was taking a shit. Sometimes you had someone coming from the top, someone underneath throwing little grenades at him, trying to get up through into the area between his legs to hear a thunk into the toilet. Never got the 3-pointer.
It's like skee ball. It's like skee ball with shitting almost.
That was so stupid.
That's like the 100-point
thing. We were retarded.
Yeah.
We were all retarded.
It's fun.
Look at the line of work we're in. Like smart people don't do this.
Do you think that did he enjoy that joke, or do you think he was at home at night like, every time I go take a shit, Mama?
He's got PTSD. Like
all the other boys, they come, they have these wet paper towels, and they pelt me with them mercilessly.
Honestly,
it was literally like 3 times we did it.
It was 3 times.
But no, it was every day.
You have no idea how close he was to the gun. You have no idea. Actually, we have a pretty good idea now. Even one time, he was probably pretty close.
Dude, I told you, like, and right outside
in actuality,
is where
that
the Karate
was the
Kid
body.
Practiced.
That kid, that was the body that Blame Truth saw after too much bullying with the paper towels.
Who were the weirdest people at your guys' high school that you remember? Just while you think, I remember
my friends.
There was this kid that wore nothing but all blacked out, like trench coats, like
that kind of
all that shit, and he would like practice karate by himself with like poses in front of like the bathroom, and at one point, this like Southern asshole who went to our school, who was, short guy, but jacked out of his mind. He's like, "Hey, Karate Kid, fuck are you doing over there?" And then he just kept like doing his shit. And I just want to be like, Josh, just don't like let him be. Like, this kid's not hurting anyone. He's just like, "You want to show me how it works? Show me how it works." Like, just antagonize. Josh was a bit of a fucking prick, frankly.
Sounds like,
but he's the same guy. He almost fucking broke my arm in 8th grade wrestling because he was an advanced wrestler and I had 7th grade under my belt. And he played for fucking keeps in practice. He would wrench my arm up behind my back to the point that I was like, Josh, stop! And he'd be like, Jesus, like he'd be like mad at me for almost like making a scene, like. Yeah, that guy was a fucking prick.
As I was the the nucleus of my friend group in the sense that like I brought people together. Like I played football, so I had and there's a strong Haitian population in Montreal. There's like a lot of Haitian friends. And then I'd go to Jew camp, so I have all like my Jewish friends. And then I did I played basketball. I had friends from my elementary school. And just from different groups, I'd bring people. I had people would come to my house, and I have some friends that are really picky about who's around, and they know my house is there's wild cards. Mm-hmm. So you'd come to my house, and I would have Karate Kid at my house, and I would also have the other guy there that was show me how it works. I had lots of weird friends like that, so I feel like it made me the weird one in the end in some ways. But yeah.
I can't think of the weird kid at my school, but I was telling you about that weird kid last week, Taylor, the one that was crying on the trip. I felt a little bit bad. I felt I was a little bit harsh on him or something. I was talking to those guys, and they were like, "Oh, I don't feel bad." I just remember he talked about how he really liked torturing animals too, and how he spends a lot of time thinking about how he could torture women and people, and how it really intrigues him, and it intrudes on his thoughts a lot. The ideas of torturing and harming.
Now, I'm willing to buy into anything for content, but that seems also a little far fetched.
He told him that as a kid he would pull the legs off of beetles one by one, and then watch them wiggle as just a shell. And he would do this, and also with salamanders, he would hold them down and slowly pull all the limbs and the tails off of them so they could they had to wiggle then.
If that's true, that's fucking psychotic.
Let's pull him up on Facebook, see if he's murdered anyone since then.
Yeah, that's
profile pics is a wingless bird.
Yeah. Harley, just fast forward you, this guy went on a trip with a bunch of gaming buddies, and he was crying the whole time, weeping like a grown 21-year-old man weeping, and he got a hand job from a stripper, and he paid $500 for it, and he was having night terrors about it because it was so rough on him. I guess it was his first sexual experience with a woman, so then he hired a prostitute, spent another $600 having sex with her, and then just lots of weird shit on this trip where these guys spent a week together. And I felt a little bad that I talked about all that stuff and how weird he is, but then I found out about the torturing animals and wanting to hurt people.
But he was crying the whole time, throughout the hand job, or
weeping after in front of his friends, like the boys were riding home in the car, and he's just weeping openly.
Yeah, because she was still alive.
Yeah.
He didn't get to finish.
He was so sad.
Wait. Why is he, and it's no disrespect to anyone who's listening and cried from getting a hand job. Yeah. Why was he crying from getting a hand job, do you think?
He said it was traumatic, and so much so that he had night terrors every night thereafter. So kept him up. So
but what's the night terror that he's getting the hand job glove?
Yeah,
I don't know. He wore it was a condom on hand job from a stripper for $500.
That just sounds overpriced. Maybe
I'm thinking I would be having night terrors. I'd be like, my money. My money.
The night terror is just $500 just burning. Yeah.
No, he was happy with the financial part of it, but I didn't like hearing it. They mentioned a cat too. I don't know if he actually tortured a cat or if he just wanted to get one. But no, that stuff kind of creeped me out about him, so I don't feel so bad about making fun of him.
Dude, if they have evidence he's an animal torturer, get that guy.
Is there a crime again? Is that a crime everywhere?
Yes, it's a crime.
Well, it's a crime to cry after a hand job.
Pussy law.
Yeah, one count of being a bitch.
No, that's a little mean.
Two to be served concurrently with being a virgin.
You should slow down. When he comes and gets me, I will be forced to give him your address.
Well, I'm going to have a whole guard set up of innocent animals that he won't be able to resist mercilessly murdering as he walks into my home.
And just have a bunch of sheep and like beetles in the front yard.
Dude, he comes to my house, I'm going to turn the tables on him. I'm going to have Reservoir Dogs playing in the basement, and I'm going to be like, I've been practicing my Michael Madsen. Will you help me? And then before the show, Blame Truth, you started talking, and Kyle and I were like, that sounds perfect. So you have a Discord, and it got banned. Can you fill us in on what led to that? What happened?
Yeah, my Discord account, my server's okay, but my account got banned because I was a part of the Conway Whale Watchers Wings of Redemption troll Discord. I actually just streamed the Northmen with those guys. Those are cool guys. Like we streamed the Northmen and had a good old time. We had a good old time.
They are cool guys.
They are cool guys. And we had a great time. And then I hop on Discord and I'm just banned. They nuked that server. I think Wings took it down. They nuked that server. Everybody in it just got fucking banned. Straight up. No questions asked. Can't get it back, so I'm Discordless right now, but not a big deal, you know.
Yeah, I think he's got some drama going on right now. I don't know the short and long of it, and I frankly don't care, but he's got some kind of drama going on, so it's probably tangentially related to all that. But yeah, the Whale Watchers.
Yeah.
The aptly named group of wings aficionados.
Why would they get banned for that Discord? What are you guys doing in there?
Surely not just laughing from
what were you
afar.
up to, Blame Truth? Because it sounds to me like it had a whole lot more to do with that.
It's funny. I told my Twitch stream, I'm like, hey guys, I'm streaming the Northmen on Conway Whale Watchers, you know, just like doing it for fun. And some people came in like one time. They came in one time to watch the Northmen, never said a fucking word, got banned for life on Discord.
It's bizarre.
You'd
think it would be all like if they had a whale watching Discord where it like had the rules of the zoo, where it was like, we're here to discuss the laughable things, but do not participate. Don't touch the animals. This is the zoo. But I bet they went over the line and they tried to create content by like poking a gorilla or throwing sandwiches at a bear, which is obviously in poor taste.
Well, Wings uses the word blackmail because he doesn't know what it means, but someone's trying to extort some money. Someone's trying to extort some money out of Wings.
Oh, well, that's fucked up. I don't like that. Jeez.
Yeah, using the takedown system.
They claimed it was like a Discord. Discord said it was like a server meant for harassment. But
that's accurate.
I mean,
it sounds like it's a Discord made for harassing someone. So you know what? I'm fine with that.
It's like-minded individuals getting together for a good time.
I like that he gets that W though. I feel like he needed that, and the thought of him fucking coming in just clearing out like 1,000 or however many people were in there, plus just the extra people, the collateral damage of people that were innocent that got murked. Like they just got caught up.
Some of my viewers who had never even seen or said anything just got
vanquished them from Discord.
I wonder how he would feel if he knew that you had been swept up in all of this.
I think I tweeted at him like, "Come on, dude! Like seriously."
He's got bigger fish to fry right now.
He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Blame Truth. This group of 2,000 people harassing me. I don't care for it. So yeah, I'm gonna request that they remove." People need to give Wings a fucking break every now and then. The dude is run through the ringer 24/7 for the past 10 years. Like,
Taylor,
give him a bit.
Well, you have to keep in mind, like, he randomly attacks people, like at random. He said I was addicted to Adderall like 2 months ago.
I know, but like, maybe
it's not accurate.
I know, but you're one of my close friends, so I saw that and was immediately like, obviously that's false. But like, if he was going around being like, Taylor, huge fan of black tar heroin, I'd be like, no, I'm a high quality. I like that, like the white stuff.
How much Adderall do you have to do for it to be considered an addiction?
Well, I think that like. I don't know. But I've never taken more than like a bottle.
Probably, right?
Like I would get a prescription. I would get it prescribed, and I would take it like when I needed to get the house clean or something like that. I wouldn't take it regularly, even not since middle school.
But taking it regularly, is that addicted to it?
People do get addicted to it like easily.
It can be, but I don't know. I don't think that's the kind of addiction he's talking about. He's trying to suggest that I was like tweaking out on Adderall or something.
Yeah, that you were like trumping.
I made a video about him actually, like Wings. And he watched it on his stream, and he watched it live. I actually caught him watching the video live, and every point I brought up, he just immediately dismissed. Nothing was taken in. It was like in one ear out the other. It was worse.
Was it a Call of Duty, like a video game critique video, or like a, hey, this is, I don't like what you're doing here?
It was just I told him to kind of just embrace the trolls, because like at the end of the day, I think they're fans that want to see him do better, or ex-fans that want to see him do better. You know what I mean? Like actually,
maybe.
Yeah, some are.
I think some are. I really do.
Some are there because they think of themselves as like an avenging spirit, there to like look after all those kids that got yelled at 10 years ago.
That is true as well.
I think he is. I do think he's sitting on a gold mine potentially, actually, of engagement and stuff. Like that's a very big deal. I think like another person who's like, can spin their thing into profits but pushes against it is Brendan Schaub. You guys know about?
Oh yeah,
the fighter.
Yeah, I frequented the subreddit for like through pandemic and stuff, and I just saw, how he responds. But like I saw all the slogans and like Schaubisms and things. And if there's a way, there's like a 90s wrestler WWF way to spin it into a bad guy type thing where you kind of root for it. I don't know what the answer is, but I do find it interesting. Like in Wings' case, he does do the exact same thing all the time, and he's never happy with it. And I feel like re-strategizing his approach to the engagement he gets out there could be valuable.
I don't know anything
surprised by like perennially, I am shocked that no one is interested in producing a reality show about his life. And like, I don't think I'm crazy about this.
Tried.
I think I tried. I think that it's amazing. Like if you had cameras there and like at the end of every week, if he had to sit down with his family members in a circle, like the fucking circle of truth, and they each had a camera on them and talking about like what happened this week. Like, hey, this week Wings had some trouble with his fans. They had a crane ordered to the house. How did that make you feel? Well, I was trying to get my
louder than air.
Yeah, we took advantage of that crane to get Mama out of the kitchen. Yeah, it would be so funny. I promise you, because like just some of the stories.
I would watch it. Yeah.
Like having them recount the stories in person with like one of those silly, those shows where they're talking about someone who got bit by a snake and they do it poorly, the reenactment, and it's almost comedic. A reenactment of him like getting that turd pulled out of his ass by his grandma or something, like accompanying like story time. Like have him tell a story every now and then
with a tinny meow in the background.
It's just that it's actually like a whole it's like young Sheldon, but it's Wings. It's like a full
young
show.
Jordan.
There's an actor playing him.
Yeah.
Everybody hates Jordy. That's
Everybody hates Jordy.
Or if it's a reality show, I actually really like the idea, and I'm not talking about like torturing him in any way at all, not at all. But every episode he does something he hates, like
flying commercial flight, coach commercial flight. He would be if you told him that at the end of the season he has to fly to Los Angeles for an in studio like thing with his hero and $10,000 check. He'd be like, I don't know, that June was when I like to, stay in my trailer all alone. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. He's so scared of commercial flights. You really think
he wouldn't fly?
Last time
I don't know who his hero is.
But last time the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. The last time he was on a commercial flight, the guy next to him was like rude. Like it was a flight from Conway, South Carolina, or wherever he boarded his plane, Asheville probably, or Spartanburg, wherever, to LA. So that's like 5.5, 6.5 hours, somewhere in there. And somebody was like, bro, seriously? Like somebody gave him some shit.
Wait. As someone who's not who has different dimensions than Wings, but is also a huge person, Wings was rude. I think when I get on the plane being who I am and I sit next to a regular person, I do feel rude. I'm like, yeah. If someone's like, seriously, I'm like, bro, I'd be so mad. If I got to a seat and I was sitting next to me, I'd be like, fuck this big fucking idiot.
You eventually you should have to sit next to Shaq. So you know how it is. You know how all those tiny women feel.
I felt the same way, but then like he was so upset by it that he was considering renting a car and driving back from LA.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Really?
He lives on the East Coast.
Why? Yeah. See, here's the thing.
Not only does he live on the East Coast, he lives 20 minutes from the Atlantic Ocean.
But wait, I wish.
You can hear seabirds.
And to fly into LA, you go out over the Pacific and loop back too. So he would go ocean to ocean like Forrest fucking Gump.
Yeah, I wish when that guy was like, seriously, I wish like he knew, like I wish he embraced more like fuck this guy.
Yeah.
You know, or in my case, the guy, I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm shit. Sit down, forget about it. I wish Wings, like, I feel like that's it right there. That guy's like, seriously? And then he's like, I'm gonna suffer driving back now rather than have that. He should just be like, fuck that, bro. I'm sitting here. I'm gonna take up two seats.
Wings
taking up a seat and a half.
Like every time Wings, if my name is ever in Wings' mouth, it's like that motherfucker stole my job. Like he's like mad at me. He's like that. He got in and stole the money. And like even knowing that and the years of that, I just like I feel so fucking bad for the guy. Like I can't look at his life and not feel like, dude, like
did you guys hear about the New York Times thing he did?
Oh, we know all about it. Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah. Have you seen
for Harley's benefit, the New York Times did an article on Wings of Redemption, and like they have his picture in the article.
He can't stop talking about it before it happens, and then you think he would know by now. Don't talk about this shit before it happens, but like he's like a kid on Christmas, like telling people about his new bike he got, you know. So he just can't wait to spill the beans till after. So he's talking about how he's getting this New York Times interview, and then the trolls, of course, contact him, and the article changes. You know, because they contact him about the stuff he said in the past. I don't get. It's like the same mistake over and over and over. It's insanity. It's a definition of insanity.
Yeah, and it's just that I think the trolls are entirely powered and fueled by him. Like when we were talking about that reality show, if that happened and that reality show like wasn't a success on TV, I do know that the Clips channels is like a 7-figure business. Oh, if that reality show exists, the Wings Clips channels on YouTube taking like 1, 2, 3 minute bits from the show and recutting it, that's a 7-figure business right there. And even if only one episode got released, 1 35-minute episode or something,
that's there for the next
that's
decade.
Content for 4 years.
Yeah.
Like 4 years.
God, is it crazy for us to produce the show? Is it crazy to hire a film crew?
It's the most logical, best, coolest thing.
Guys, I'm 4 hours away.
And the first episode is just it's Taylor and Wings getting lunch.
That would be episode 1. You guys, all of
and we're smoothing it over.
Exactly. You guys show your cards, fully transparent. You know.
Oh, you saw you buried.
But what I'm upset about
all
is
you can
that,
eat crab.
Yeah, we have a competition over all you can eat crab over who is the deserved host of PKA. After I slaughter him in that, I feign some false humility.
Let me ask you a question.
The thing I'm the most upset about is that he's not really 6'4".
What? He's not really 6'4".
That's what I'm upset. I'm gonna show up and like of all the things you could be like frustrated with, I'm gonna look for him like Wings, and then like when I'm taller than him, what? Are your feet okay? Like what's going on?
What if you ate crab for who would be host of PKA, and you're like 3 pounds deep, and you're like, no big deal, I can keep going. But you look at him, and he's not even breaking a sweat. And not only that, Taylor, they've got some of those cheesy Red Lobster biscuits, and he starts eating those for the fuck of it. Just like he knows he can beat you with extra room to spare. He's like, I don't care. And he's like enjoying the biscuits, like chatting it up all lighthearted.
I would be so happy to see him do that because he's just blowing himself out. I'm the tortoise. I'm eating until we start the competition Sunday. I'll wrap up Tuesday afternoon. He's going to burn himself out so quickly on those cheddar biscuits. And I also guarantee that my dexterity, my speed in opening the crab, it's going to be unmatched.
I'm sorry.
Give me 8 clusters. I'll be through that, devoured it, digesting for an hour while watching an episode of An Idiot Abroad. And he's still out there struggling with bloody fingers.
See, the problem with that, Taylor, is Wings of Redemption doesn't crack his crab open. He eats it whole. Okay. Shells and
all right.
That's
real
how
respect,
he's so fast.
real.
That's how he's so fast.
Okay.
Well, then he's gonna the whole thing.
If he survives eternal bleeding, he's going to beat me.
You know what's so funny about this is you're like, we're having this conversation. You're like, yeah, you guys go and produce. The funniest thing is like, no one here can afford Wings. Even with everything going on in his life, you want to do this? Like, we can't afford this. Even if we all pool together, we don't have the money to produce one season.
Stupid to
just
take the
for
money.
his talent rate.
I would have no confidence that we wouldn't get 40 minutes in, like me, Kyle, and Woody get off a plane, and then he'd be like, you know what, I don't want to do this, and then they'd be like,
this is gonna be embarrassing.
But we're here.
Nah, I don't want to make a fool of myself, and it's like that's what you've been doing for a decade.
that's what he's contracted into, though.
Now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's contracted into. So when he's like, I don't want to do it, you guys are like, great, this is the show.
How about this?
Like,
We make him sign an NDA, legally binding, harsh punishments. After he's signed it, he realizes he's signed a non-dairy agreement. He can't have dairy until he's down to a BMI of 24.
Not my cheese.
And that's the show. Is he's legally bound to not be? And there's a cop that a dairy cop, and he keeps him from consuming any dairy. Billy Club,
Shalila,
cheese head on. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Can I just be the cop since I have the mustache? Like, I'll wear disguise.
Yeah. Impersonating a cop? That's not a crime if you're filming.
Nah, not in South Carolina.
No. You're filming, it's acting.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just acting like I pulled this guy over. What are you mad about?
No, I've long thought that he could literally, because some of that reality stuff that actually gets popular is just so trash and so bad. And his stories are real. Mm-hmm. Like that shit is real over there. That crazy stuff with people pulling turds out of buttholes and fucking.
You're not gonna believe this, but the problem, Wings is not fat enough. My 600-pound life and those sisters who are behemoths in their own right.
Yeah, like Wings can do jumping jacks-ish.
He's quite athletic. He's quite athletic to be so
he's like a running, jumping large man. Like he could do that kind of,
He's a bit like Chris Farley. Yeah.
He's gonna break something in the house maybe, but listen, why don't you call him up right now.
We don't have his number.
You don't have his phone number.
I have no way of contacting.
You're lying.
I swear to God,
you can't contact Wings right now if you wanted.
Kitty has. If I needed to get in touch with Wings, I'd be like, Kitty, give me Wings' number, and I could contact.
No, Zach, you don't have to.
No, do not want his information.
When he comes back, he's like, "Yo, I was gone for one episode, and Wings was on."
Oh, that was great.
Wings taking Woody's job is the full circle. That's the full circle. That's when it's complete.
That's the final plot point. The full circle documentary.
Yeah,
is that Woody decides that he's got enough money and he's going to be a flyboy in Spain, and Wings jumps in. It takes the reins. And then like immediately the next week, me and you would be sitting here like it's 7 Eastern, and then we'd get a message like, "Don't feel good."
Not gonna make it tonight.
Speaking of retarded, when I went to go see Lord of the Rings, it was in theaters, and I was so excited to see it. I think I was like 8th grade, maybe 8th grade. It came out in 98,
like 99, I think. Yeah.
Okay, 98, 99. So that's 8th grade, and I was with my aunt, and like she's kind of like a hippie, and like I was just like, oh, I want to get high to go see it, and she like gave me like a little joint because she knew I was gonna be alone for the day. She had shit to do. My cousin was doing shit, so I got really high, and I went to the theater, and it was like a matinee, and like the movie had been out for a while now, and like no one had wanted to see it, so we were finally going. I was going to see it alone, and I'm walking down the aisle, and no one's in the theater, and I go and I like sit down like 5th row, and like in the middle, like it's like the perfect seat. And I like look to my right, and I see this like big mentally challenged person, which he probably looked at me and thought the same thing.
Yeah, but you give off that aura.
Yeah, and I was definitely emanating it now because I was stoned, so I was like,
yeah, cross-eyed.
Yeah, and I like looking at him, and I look, and he comes in, and he's like on the level, like this level, like his hat is like,
yeah,
like the hat's like
barely on. Yeah,
someone put it on him. Someone put it on him. He didn't put it on even, and like, he was just like jogging pants that are his favorite pants, like fluorescent fanny pack that he'll scream if you touch it. And he's like coming down. He's coming down the aisle here. And like
barreling down the aisle.
yeah. Like, and me too. He looked like me, how I did when I was stoned. And I was like, and like he's coming down, and I'm looking at him, and all I'm thinking is like it could have been anyone. I would have been like, "Don't come here! Don't come here! Don't come here! Don't come here!" And he like comes to the aisle, and he hasn't seen me yet, and he like turns in the aisle and takes a step, but I like focused all the power I had into like scaring him away. Like he turned and like my bloodshot stoned eyes, I was like and he was like duh, 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 and he saw me, he was like and he like stepped back and went back a row and just sat there. And I know this guy, I know his type, because I am like that too, to an extent. I was in the optimal seating, and he wanted that. And if I didn't look at him like that, he would have sat next to me, because that's the second best. And he would have done that, not thinking, even though we were in a theater by ourselves, which one time I did sit in the optimal seating, and a mentally challenged person did sit right next to me, but it was a full theater. Yeah. So like we had no choice. We're right next to each other. And the craziest thing that happened, also once again, I'm super high, but this happened like 3 years ago. This was like Fast and the Furious 15 or whatever. So it was pretty recent. And I'm like sitting in the theater and I'm looking at the screen, and like something very funny happens that I thought was very funny. It was a very subtle, nuanced joke that just happened to that I found very funny, but not really anyone else in the theater thought it was funny. But it happened, and this mentally challenged guy sitting next to me, the stranger, and it happened, and I was like, and he was next to me, and I guess he thought it was funny too, and happy that I enjoyed it. And he was like, he looked at me, and I was next to him, and I was like, I was like scared, like that wasn't a laugh I shared with you, but like it was like to him, I was like, and he was like, like in my face,
like patting you on the back.
Yeah,
that's honestly, that is so sweet. Like
it was.
He's trying to share a social laugh with someone who enjoys something that he does. That's sweet.
And you know what? Like I was like professionally an integration aide for many years. I worked with mentally challenged kids, and like, you know, I volunteered that for years. Like, you know, I was probably like, they're my people. That's me out there. Every single one of them. And like, so I'd like volunteer. Like, so like if I was prepared, I would be embracing. It scared the shit out of me. He was like in my space. Like he was like, and I was like, I was actually like, also I had to tell you, like I was high, like super high. Yeah. It's like, I was like already like in a place, but fucking, another. I'm narrowly so sorry. Escaped. I'm so sorry to hit you guys with like a retard hat trick of a story here.
Just keep going.
Oh, I've got a retard story after yours.
Okay.
3 hours.
My buddy Amir, my buddy Amir, God bless him, chef of Epic Mealtime. He's a genius guy. You know, like he's just very like smart sometimes, but he's also like, if you ever watch the videos and you know, you'd met him, Kyle, he's like fucking just crazy retarded person. Like he's just fucking crazy. Like he's so insane. People would meet him and be like, "What's wrong with this guy?" And I'm like, "He's retarded." Me too.
I didn't notice anything. I thought he was fine.
Yeah, he's just like there's a look in his eyes and there's a thing about him.
Was he there for the Star Wars thing, right?
Yes. Yeah. Maybe he was just, you saw him where he had like a set thing of tasks to perform, and he loves tasks and a maintained schedule. That's exactly it. Had we shifted something, he would have been like, ah! No, I'm kidding. Not like that, but like he is just that type. And I remember one time he got us tickets. Like he's like type, like he got us tickets to a movie in advance, got us our seats. He's waiting there like 3 hours. Like it's the airport. He's chilling there. And then we come, all of his buddies. And there's a guy there that he always tries to race to beat, because that guy, who's fully retarded, wants to get the optimal seating, but Amir wants the optimal seating. And
like they know each other?
Well, they're at every big premiere, like
the same social worker.
Like Amir will be like, my fucking nemesis got optimal seating in Top Gun. He was there before me. I can't believe it. If there was one movie I wanted optimal seating, it was Top Gun. And then it'll be like Jurassic World. I fucking had his ass, and he came with a friend too. Fuck them both. But like they have an ongoing beef.
It's a rivalry.
Like, yeah. In my head, I think they're low key best friends. He just doesn't know it. But so this guy, who's retarded, who knows Amir is retarded too, because he sees him doing the retard movie thing where he's got to get the seat and he's got to be there for that optimal seating. Like, if he's so this retard's been watching Amir and he sees him and he knows this is like my retarded brother, you know. Then he sees like me and all my buddies come in, and now that other retard's confused because he's like, "What?" Because we're seeing Amir, we're dapping him up, and this guy's like, "Huh? How did you?" A fellow retarded brother managed to round up a squad of fucking normies like that, you know? So I'm standing with Amir, and I was like, Amir, I'm like, that retard over there is really checking you out. He's like, which? And I'm like, don't, you know who?
You know, the one you have a rivalry with.
Yeah, recognize Reet, the one that's looking at you right now that knows you're retarded. And, you know, and Amir's like, I didn't even see it. And now I'm watching Amir from like a distance. Here I get my popcorn, I stand back and I'm watching Amir, and I see now that I'm away and Amir's alone, this guy's like, I'm gonna roll up on this dude and I'm gonna ask him like, what are the secrets, you know? And so this like retarded guy starts to approach Amir, who's also a retarded guy, and now Amir, like, he's been doing the long con. He thinks he has us convinced that we don't think he's retarded when we know he is. And so like Amir doesn't want to fuck that up, I guess, or whatever it is. But this retarded guy like walks up to Amir like, yeah, and Amir, he didn't actually do this, what I'm about to demonstrate. It was something different, but this encapsulates it perfectly. Amir, as he came close, Amir was kind of like and that guy was like, oh shit, and like backed away. Like it was like, don't fuck this up for me. And I saw the guy wanted to know, like, yo, how do you hold a conversation with these guys? Like, why don't they know you're like, you keep it a secret? Are you upfront about it or what, you know?
Yeah. He's in the closet. He's in the play chest.
Well, and that's the same guy that laughed with me, by the way. That's the same guy that sat next to me because I had optimal seating. No, I had optimal seating with Amir, so he ended up next to me because that's the second most optimal seat. It just he happens to be part of both of these stories.
Is there one theater in Canada?
Well,
how are you guys?
I will tell you something.
Showtime for every movie.
If you're this type of person, you want the best.
You want the best seat
in Montreal. There happens to be an IMAX theater that is one of the newest IMAX theaters in all of Canada. So, like, yeah, I'm pretty normal, bro. I'll go see the fucking movie here. That's it. Amir will drive like an extra 35 minutes to get the IMAX experience because like the screen is 20% bigger. And like, that's okay. You know, I'm okay with that.
Once you're in a theater and you're watching a movie on a theater, I've never thought like, this is a small screen.
I have.
Really? In a movie?
I have been to some theaters.
Like, bullshit. This is the fake IMAX. I should have Googled, you cocksuckers. You took like a well-known like AMC. You get ushered into some bullshit with like a glass boob tube. Like what? I don't know. I've gotten taken to some like shady, like shitty, like smaller screens, and I've thought like there are private screens bigger than this. This is nonsense.
I love the idea of walking into a movie theater with you, taking a step into it, and right away you look at the screen and you go, bullshit. Bullshit. Like that would already make my movie experience better.
Dude, I'm serious about the movies. I haven't been in years. Like
I haven't been in years. The
pandemic fucking thing like drove me away from them. The last movie I went to was right before I went to prison. I was like, well, they might kill me in there. Better see Avengers. This is the end game after all. So, I watched that, went to prison, and then I haven't been back. I keep saying I will, but then I end up.
I keep saying I will too, but
I'm sure you guys must still have some of the fattest listeners ever.
Oh, big time
for sure. I say like what helped me was like obviously like the threat that I was going to get punched in the head in front of people, but. What I would say to any of those people is like I used MyFitnessPal, and you don't like it asks you to pay, but you don't need to pay. There's a free one and it tracks your calories. Once you start to get a grasp of like, and listen, I'm allowed to maintain at my weight. I could have 2,900 calories in a day and not put on weight. That's a lot of food.
That's a lot.
You make the right choices. That's a fuck ton of food. So to every like fatso out there, like I know what it was like to be a big fat guy. You had 2 hamburgers. You can't have 2 hamburgers, fatty.
Oh, I don't even think it's that, man.
Sometimes you need to.
Dessert after also. You can't always get dessert, fatso.
Dessert's a big one, but the vast majority of them, if you just stop alcohol, and stop sugary soda, like just that,
you will drop fucking
you'll
weight.
drop so many pounds. Like you can still have dessert and 2 hamburgers if you just stop drinking soda and beer all night.
When I got as fat as I've ever fucking gotten, I was drinking like I'd say a 6-pack at least a day of like IPAs.
That's a
extra.
Oh, IPA. How many? That's like a big old sandwich each one.
It's like a burger in a bottle. Yeah,
a loaf of bread.
Yeah, you're adding 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of fat every week.
I got
that you
so
do that.
fat. God, I like my.
Do you? But like late night salty snacking is definitely because like you can just pop Goldfish Cheez-Its in your mouth for literally an hour straight, and you're no fuller, but you've consumed 1,200 calories.
Dude, go
and it's
with
mindless.
Go with string cheese. You know, like high protein, 45 calories a pop. I'm about to grab one actually mid show, but just make smart choices like that. Yeah. Just go string cheese to Cheez-Its. I love Cheez-Its.
I wanted to touch those smarter decisions. What was it that you'd said again? I wanted you to repeat it for all the fat asses listening. You make me fucking sick. Now that I'm medium fat and I'm not fat like you, I'm medium fat. You're disgusting. What was the thing you just said? It was actually it was really concise, and I think it was a good. Oh yeah. You said no sugary soda, and you said something else.
No alcohol.
No
alcohol.
Alcohol
is so big because here's the thing about alcohol. Alcohol is more than its the sum of its calories. Okay, alcohol leads to poor decisions. Alcohol makes you hungrier than you would have ever been.
That's true.
You drink those 6 beers and get drunk, and you're like, oh my god, like whatever your fucking shit tier snack
Pizza.
is, pork rinds, or fucking maybe it's just more beer, and you keep going. Like you're gonna eat a whole goddamn pizza or do something awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in a bad like in your bed too. Oh, you're like in your bed doing it. But like, dude, no sugary drinks, alcohol, and then if you also drink, how much water do you drink in a day, Kyle?
2 gallons when I'm going hard, but 1 gallon every day.
So if you do that and drink 1 gallon of water
will fill up.
You actually will automatically do, and also because we're men. Because we're men. Yes.
All right, all the ladies listening, go ahead and turn the show off.
Yeah,
this is a show for the lads.
Yeah, go. Hey, go make us a sandwich, right, boys?
Get the hell out of here, bitch!
Woo! Because we're men. It's actually way easier for us too if you cut the soda and you drank all the water. It's actually like it's not even fair. The women that are close to you in life. That look better, you will be very quickly catching up to their league. It'll bother them how fast you are accelerating to be within their league, and you're gonna be like, "Well, I was stop drinking 12 cans of Coke every day."
Yeah. Well, I replaced I started drinking Diet Dr. Pepper instead of Dr. I literally have I just drink diet soda, and so my biggest thing, I really overdo it with the late night snackery, but. I have a friend who his habit, like his vice in college, was that he would go to Quick Trip twice a day, every day, and he would refill his 64-ounce Dr. Pepper from the fountain because at Quick Trip that's like 4 cents. And so he was drinking 120. No, this guy was very, very heavy, and he drank 128 ounces of Dr. Pepper. Is that a gallon? That's a gallon. So he was regularly drinking gallons of Dr. Pepper, and he was not a big alcohol drinker. When he would eat, he wasn't like he would go overboard at nights, of course, like when he was by himself binge eating. But
he would have been
mostly he would just drink soda in front of everyone all day, and he cut that out for 1 month, and I bet he lost 40 pounds.
Dude,
it's
crazy. What made me want to lose weight actually was like the fucking turning point was I was streaming on Twitch playing something. I don't remember what it was. And I look over and, you have your streaming software up and you can see yourself kind of like how this is right now. I look over and I'm sitting there on my 3rd fucking IPA. I have an entire like family sized box of bottle caps, the fucking candy, and I'm sitting there chomping on bottle caps, drinking an IPA, and I look over and my face is just like, that I got the big beard, the long Manson hair, and I'm like, I'm fucking disgusting. What am I doing? I look like fucking diabetic Manson. What am I doing?
It's not even a good candy.
It's a terrible, terrible candy.
I just wanted to fill my stomach with something that was on sale.
I bet it wasn't even a good IPA.
That's how you know you're in like overeating mode. Is I'll sit there. My wife got me these cauliflower crackers. What? And I was eating these 2 nights ago, and I finished the whole box, and I'm like, "This wasn't even good." I was just eating it to have something going. When I'm watching movies late at night, I like to munch. I like to be snacking, and I just forget what I'm doing.
Let me tell you that when I go to buy snacks, I buy in fuck up scenarios. So someone will show me snacks, and they'll be like, "Yeah, like let's get this." Like, my girlfriend should be like, "Let's get this right here. This box of whatever fucking rice thing." Mm-hmm. And I flip it around, I look at it, and I'm like, no. And she's like, why? I'm like, because if I fuck up and eat the entire thing, it's still bad.
Yeah.
If I eat this whole box, it'll equal out to like 2,000 calories. Unacceptable.
That's the.
I'm gonna go grab my snack box real quick, and you can see the hole that I keep putting myself.
Yeah, I need to be able to eat the whole box, and it's like maybe 800 max.
All right, so like this, like when I was cutting weight, it was your body's eating itself when you're at that deficit. And there's days I would do a 24-hour fast every week. So on that day, I'd still have to do fasted cardio, and it would be eat you alive. So when I would want carbs, I would want volume, and I was on the volume eating subreddit, and I think Woody and I both got on the popcorn grind.
It's huge.
Oh my God.
That's so big.
It's as big as your head.
Do you know what's wild? Is they only sell them in 2-packs.
That's pretty wild.
And so this is a. I was going to say a long supply. It's a supply.
And no one ever complains.
No one ever complains. And this is. Wait, how many? Okay, 140 calories, 28 servings per container.
God damn, that's like 2 days worth of fucking food.
Oh no!
In one box.
Well, there's probably vitamins.
A serving.
No, I just love goldfish.
No shit.
4,000
very
calories.
Very comfort snack for me.
Man, my vice is fucking. Do you guys have Cookout where you're at? The restaurant chain. Yeah, they have the fried cheese bites or whatever. Yeah, those things, or they have sheets too. Those things are the fucking shit. But they're actually not that bad. I'll go and get like an order of those, and just an order of those. So I'm contained.
Okay.
Like one order. That's like a
what
cheat
is those?
Thing. It's calories in calories. It's fried cheese curds.
Yeah, it's like 380 calories per like an order, like a bag.
They're like breaded. They're fucking they're fucking
fried
good.
cheese curds?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking
Dude,
so good.
I ordered cheese fries the other day, and without asking for my permission, they gave me poutine instead, and it was so fucking delicious.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that was the idea of gravy on fries always sounded so gross to me, but it was really fucking tasty.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was like chili on the fries or something.
No, it's like brown gravy and cheese.
Okay, brown gravy, you had the real deal.
Yeah,
chili on the fucking fries, man. I went to a place called it's called Hillbilly Grocery, somewhere in the fucking boonies, around where I live. They had these goddamn loaded crinkle cut fries. They put chili, cheese, bacon, fresh chopped onion on it. The best goddamn thing ever. So fucking good. Like the bacon was just killer.
I like that we talked about healthy eating, and then we transitioned into this, right?
Yeah.
Well, I hate
moderation.
But that's what you do, right? Like when you're horny and you can't have sex, you might watch porn. When I'm hungry and I can't eat food, I swear to God, like if you looked at my YouTube recommendations, nothing but cooking channels. I would go in there and watch people make and eat good food that I couldn't have.
That makes it so much harder.
It makes it better. I don't know how, but it made it better. It was like, that is really terrible.
Talking about it. I don't need it. Yeah, I don't need to do it right now. Like talking about it, it's freeing. Like I have control.
Gets it out of my system.
Yeah, I'm a fucking man. I can control myself. I can do it.
When you guys are cheating, when you're having a day where you're going balls to the wall, just a nice reward for being so good.
Yeah.
What do you like The Rock does, where he has like 8 pizzas? What do you guys do?
I order a double flamethrower burger from Dairy Queen. There's like this spicy double cheeseburger with pepper jack cheese, and they put that hot sauce on it. And I get rid of the lettuce and all the vegetables really, because I just want cheese and meat and the sauces. And I get what do they call them? The fucking frozen desserts they have there. A blizzard. I get the royal the royal strawberry cheesecake blizzard, the big one. It's like 1,000 fucking calories, and it's full of cheesecake bites and like strawberry goo and ice cream, and it's so fucking good. It's so fucking good. Oh, and
I wish they would man up. I wish they would man up, and you could be like, "Can I?"
I've never had one that looked like that. No, it's this.
It's always sloppy. Yeah.
This is like the burger's Tinder pick.
Those bacon, that bacon looks like a dog treat bacon.
Like, kind of does. Yeah, like a bacon strip. Yeah.
It has twice. Bacon. It's half as tall, and there's no vegetables on it when I eat it. It's really good.
I wish Dairy Queen would man up, and you'd be able to be like, "Yeah, can I get a strawberry goo blizzard, please?" Instead of them trying to make it seem like it isn't. Like, let's just embrace the fucked up future we live in.
They have no chill there anyway. Like, do you know different places have pretty much everyone almost exclusively has, not exclusively, everyone almost always has the same dipping sauces for chicken fingers. There's ranch or honey mustard. They got gravy at Dairy Queen, and that's like the default.
My buddy's like wings obese, and he calls it his shame meal. Is he goes and gets as many chicken tenders as they will allow him to purchase. All the gravy they will allow him to purchase, and just dunks chicken tenders in gravy until he passes out.
First of all, has he ever been turned down?
No.
Like, hey, I would like 128 tenders.
I think he usually gets like 20, and then like as much gravy as they'll give him, and then
so they're really fucking good. Not the chicken tenders, but the gravy. It's white. It's good. White like sawmill gravy or whatever, and they also give you that Texas toast. I dip everything in that gravy. It's really good. Yeah, it's really fucking good.
I want some really bad right now.
I want some too. I want to dip that white gravy and eat.
Back to like the shame meal though. When I tried to diet when I was fat before, and I'm like, all right, here we go. So I go and I hike a mountain, right? And I'm fucking exhausted after this. I hadn't eaten all day, and I'm like, I'm gonna hike this mountain. I'm gonna go and eat grilled chicken after. We're good, but I'm in fat mode, so I'm like, can't have grilled chicken. It's just not gonna work.
You deserve a little reward.
Yeah, so I go to KFC and I have my dog with me. He hiked with me, and he's pretty big dog, 80-pound dog. And I go to KFC and I get an entire bucket of chicken. And the cashier sees me and he's like, "Oh, you sharing the bucket of chicken with your dog, huh?" And I just go, "No, no, no, sir, no, all. No." He gets his fucking racial raise or whatever. I'm getting this bucket of chicken. I ate the entire bucket.
I've never liked the chicken from KFC, but I like their like all of the gross stuff that they put in a bowl. I like those biscuits. I like those mashed potatoes and gravy.
Bro, I love their lime green little coleslaw also. I love it. That little lime green, their coleslaw is like green in Canada. I don't know if it is there.
It's green in America, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Dude, in America, in the South, Cal might have it, or he might have had it in Georgia, but they have chicken livers at KFC. It's like a regional thing.
Yeah.
Like fried chicken livers. Oh, so fucking good.
Those are great. I like fried chicken livers.
I've never done that.
You're like, it's like a hard drug. I've never touched that stuff.
It really is like for some, always as a kid, I sort of thought organ meats were gross, and nobody in my family really ate them. So I didn't have anybody to expose me to it.
Right.
Did you guys have families who were like, "No, we eat cauliflower in this house, goddammit. Eat it, boy. Eat it. We're not leaving the table until you've eaten your mother's cauliflower."
No, my family's fat.
About vegetables.
My family's fat.
My family's fat.
Didn't
my mom
Woody have that where like he had to eat stuff and there was a whole traumatic thing?
No, my mom.
Woody though.
She never cooked very well, so we ate out a lot. So I usually ate out.
My mom cooked, but like I was allowed not to eat things. Like there,
really.
Yeah. It's
like when I was young, I was sitting at the table till my shit was done, like for a long time, sometimes like until it was like freezing, and I would just like play the waiting game. Like I'm not gonna eat this eventually.
My parents, so like they didn't know shit about food. Like they grew up in the time where like when we grew when you go back in time, like my parents, when they were leaving the grocery store when they were kids, they didn't like leave a Walmart and pass like 50 million deliciously packaged treats and interesting stuff or things that were like, this is good for you. Like there was like 5 years where the entire world was like, what's the healthiest thing to eat? Subway sandwiches.
Yeah.
The whole fucking country was convinced that there was nothing healthier than a Subway sandwich. And that's how little we all knew. And it was like the perfect storm for that. So I never blamed my parents for it. Like they didn't know, but like my mom, she's like a bigger woman. My sister's bigger. Like they've always had that battle with weight. My dad's a bitch. My brother and I, we were just kind of like naturally skinny. Like I got made fun of for being skinny all through high school as a problem. It was only like when I turned like 25 that weight started to put on, like where my metabolism's like, that's all I'm doing for you, bro. That's it.
It's on you now.
Yeah, exactly. But this was like literally. This was the that's why food was the way it was. It was like a battle in my house.
Yeah.
It was like a thing. It was like I could eat whatever I want, but then like half the house couldn't eat whatever they wanted. Yeah. And it's not like we ever learned anything like valuable. My family never looked at what's being served and been like, we could use some veggies here too.
Yeah.
And now it's like, there
was nobody there to be disappointed in your poor eating habits.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like that. And that's a problem. There's no accountability in so many people's lives anymore.
I told
and
my
I don't
friends,
mean that from a weird authoritarian, like sort of point of view. I mean, I bet there's a lot of people who are like, who's going to care if I cheat or not? Nobody's fucking looking.
Dude,
anymore.
I told my friends when I got fat.
Somebody was looking over their shoulder.
I told my friends when I got fat, I'm like, why didn't you guys bully me? Like, you should have said, like, dude, you're getting fucking fat. Like, your cheeks look like Santa Claus. What are you doing?
Goes a long way.
It does go a long way. I'm like, fucking.
It doesn't go a long way to getting you to move, but you'll definitely think. And thinking starts to do it. Like, I know, like from my experience, like just being in a family, like bullying someone, being like, you're like fucking fat, won't make them go to the gym. So you don't need to consistently bully, but you let that message out one time.
Speaking of ladies taking losses, I want to poll you guys on what I should do here in regards to my mother's hoarding, because we have a new chapter, and I don't know how to deal with it. I really don't.
Wait, can you catch me up on the previous chapters?
Yeah. So basically, my mom, she grew up poor, so she doesn't hoard stuff. It's mostly food.
The worst thing to hoard.
The worst thing to hoard. She jars. She's begun jarring, canning things, vegetables, meats, deli meats, gravy, things that no one should really keep. Yeah, there we go. It's just disgusting.
Rotting. Those are her jars.
Those are her jars. I walked in one day to visit her, and there was just this awful smell. And I looked to my left, and it's like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house with those fucking jars. And I'm like, Jesus, is this like a home security system? What is this? Yeah, because I'm about to fucking leave. I mean,
Yeah, that is upsetting.
It's upsetting. But I went over there, I think it was 2-3 weeks ago, just to visit. And I walk in, and I think Zach should have the picture here. Yeah. And I'm like, Mom, what the hell is going on over here?
Take me through everything. What's on the floor? Take me through everything.
Powdered potatoes, I see. No, au gratin potatoes.
She starts bragging. Thankfully, she'll tell me that what she's doing. So I'm like, Mom, what is all this sauce on the floor? What is this? And she's like, I went to Dollar General and they were having a sauce sale, and I just got all the sauce I could. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
Why?
I wanted a lot of bad sauce.
Number one thing that can lead to food hoarding, from what I've heard, is buying too much.
Yeah, well, it's not just buying. There's another part, and
that's part one.
This is where it gets really disturbing.
Because overbuying is a real thing, especially with groceries. It's like the biggest.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like people who don't have an issue, overbuying is like a big fuck up.
She overbuys so much. She overbuys so much. Okay, you see that box, right? You see that cardboard box?
Yeah.
You'll never guess what the fuck's inside it.
A cat.
Is it those meat jars? Is it the rotten meat jars?
No.
Is it a loved one's ash? Is it a loved one's ashes?
It's food.
75 copies of Man on Fire. Wait, what?
That could be food.
You fucking tricked us. You tricked us there because you said you'll never guess what it is, and I would have guessed food.
Yeah. Well, it is a food. It is, and I'm not shitting you, because I looked and she told me. It's a trash bag of Rogue macaroni. It's like 5 pounds.
Oh,
what is Rogue macaroni? Like they escaped from the factory?
Rogue, no
like
box.
That box was like in an elementary school, a cafeteria.
Something like that. Here's the issue I'm having. Like, okay, she's hoarding food. That's always been a thing. But now she's lying about it. Because she claims I'm like, where did you get 5 pounds of rogue macaroni? And she's like, they were giving it away at this new steakhouse that opened up.
What? No, they weren't.
Up the road. I'm like, were they? I'm like, they're giving you macaroni. And she's like, yeah, they couldn't use it, so they gave it to me. And then I'm like, where did you get all this stuff on the table here? And she's like, well, I got that at the food drive. I'm like, you didn't do, no, that's not a thing. No, there's none of that stuff.
This is trash. This is garbage.
Yeah. So I started putting 2 and 2 together. She talked about how my aunt and her son, my cousin, came over, and my aunt is somehow even worse than my mom. And I put 2 and 2 together, and I'm like, my aunt came over, gave this stuff to my mother, and my aunt is a known motherfucking dumpster diver. I've seen her pull chocolate milk out of the dumpster.
Where do you live?
North Carolina. So my aunt brought my mom and my mom will never throw it away. She's going to pass away. I'm going to go to her house, go to the basement, and get assaulted by meat jars, and just macaroni will pour out of crevices.
Have you ever told her that? Have you ever been like, Mom, just so you know, when you go?
I've told her. I'm like, Mom,
I'm going to throw away every fucking Rice Krispie.
And is this new? Is that an oatmeal cream pie cereal?
That's actually pretty enthralling. That's enthralling. No, that's I didn't know that existed.
Bro, this makes it all worth it.
That sounds kind of good. Right?
I actually, now that I've seen this, it wasn't a total loss.
That's crazy. That oatmeal cream pie cereal, bro.
But God knows how expired it is. Like, I don't know where she got it.
Oh, that doesn't go bad.
That's bad right from the beginning.
She has so much food. Listen, how long is she expecting to live? Like to 130?
Well, how long has she been doing this?
She's been doing this, I think, since I moved out. And actually, before that, I'd say it's one of those things that's gradually come on.
Oh, there's some more cereal over there, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what Sweetos are. I think it's Cheetos that are sweet or something.
Yeah.
That sounds
cool.
It
is. I see Tony. I see the fucking the Cheeto.
Chester, yeah.
All right, gentlemen, at the Frito-Lay's corporate table, our problem is our chips. They're too healthy. We're losing the public. What do we do? How about we dust them in sugar? Brilliant, John. Brilliant.
You
Those fat idiots will eat anything.
Hey, he's talking about your fans.
I am.
No. He's talking about the audience here.
My question is, this is getting worse. My aunt is getting worse. My aunt's enabling my mother. Should I just go? Like, I'm seriously gonna poll you guys. I'm gonna come back and read the comments too on the YouTube video and stuff. Should I just go over there one day when she's not home and throw this shit away?
No.
So that'll fuck with her mentally, because it's a mental thing. Like because like most hoarders, they don't actually have like a strict accounting of all their shit. So if you go over there and you see like 2 jars of rancid meat, sneak those out, and that's it. Throw that shit away. Just ways to like keep it from becoming unlivable.
Chip away at it. Like I'm breaking out of prison. I'm taking one brick out of the
time. That's not me though. Like
fire cleanses all.
That's true. I think if my mom were doing this, I would want to like take the Band-Aid approach and try to like rip it off. Like I'd be like, you know what? I can't deal with this anymore. Just so you know, Mom, like when you go in there, all of the food is gone. Mom, there's no, even your good food, Mom. I threw it away for spite. I threw all the food away. You don't have any food at all now. None.
She would probably do like a villain thing and like scream at the heavens.
Like, guess what, Mom? What were you going to eat tonight? Well, I was going to eat the rice. The rice. Nope. There is no rice. It's all gone. Now what are you going to eat? We play that.
The rotten pig feet. No, those are gone too.
I had to bury those.
She doesn't eat this stuff. Like she doesn't eat it.
You got to go in between the burning the house down and what they do on Hoarders, which is like create content by going like, hey, mentally ill person, are you okay with this can of peaches from 1941 going away? And then like they milk for attention this person's problem. Like there's a middle ground.
I like that.
But I bet if you walked in and like purged the whole house, all it would like do is give her like an excuse of like, all right, Costco trip. He destroyed all of my stores.
Yeah.
I need to replenish my stores. And the second you leave, you'd come back the next time and it would be restocked with way more expensive Costco shit or even more cheap sauce.
Like I guess the answer is just like accepting that part of her is hoarding.
Make it about her health.
So
be like it's really unhealthy to live in this way, and I love you and I want you to be around for a long time. Please, like, I don't know.
I approached this like I would if like someone had an eating disorder. I like just did the following same steps that you would do then. And I see that it's pretty close right now. And I'm only saying this because it looks like I've obviously seen way worse hoarding on TV or whatever, but that is bad hoarding. And it looks like it's bad, but it looks like it's not like it's probably on the, I feel like on the better side of how bad things can get.
It's not that she's like a messy hoarder. She's not somebody to really like that. A lot of that stuff will get cleaned up and organized. She's like an organized fucking. She's making like military.
She's stockpiling.
That's the thing. A lot of hoarders aren't organized. Yeah. Like it just looks like how your table looked there, where she like put all the groceries down there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so I was looking at this, and it said you can't force someone to change this.
Okay.
You can't persuade, trick, or force them to stopping this.
Okay.
You have to help them to seek treatment.
Oh, God.
Okay, but wait, I did some extra looking. Okay.
Okay.
I looked up North Carolina hoarding rehabilitation and hoarding. Don't let her insurance find out about this just yet.
Okay.
So delete the VOD of this. And, because insurance will try to stop providing coverage for liability against fire, mold, and water damage because of it. However, hoarding is also now, and remember, this is everything I'm saying is not financial advice. I'm the fucking bacon guy on YouTube. I'm just doing some quick searching here. Sure. It's compulsive hoarding is now considered a mental disability and is therefore protected under the various disability-related laws. Okay. So if she seeks help, and maybe it's considered a disability, maybe there's a recourse for her to go to a rehabilitation center, and it won't be costly. Because I remember you said that she wasn't so well money-wise.
She's actually, she pretends to, that's another thing. She pretends to be poor, but she's like loaded. I don't know.
So, well, then you know what? Then even a better situation to be in, looking for treatment and support, because that's so serious, right? Like rehab. But another thing that I found out while doing this is that like food hoarding can be like signs of dementia, or dementia patients hoard food.
But now, he says this has been going on since he left the house. Like,
knock on wood, God forbid. Like,
it gets worse.
Yeah, my uncle's going through that now, and it's a little bit, and then more and more and more. But they seeing and touching items, like it could be giving them comfort or whatever. So I'm just saying maybe there's something more than hoarding. God forbid, knock on wood, that it's dementia or something. But like at least like this looks like something where it's like, let's get this to the pros.
Right.
You got to get it to the professionals, because your mom sounds like a sweet lady and she doesn't want you to worry about where the macaroni came from and shit like that.
I can't.
So she's going to be like, don't worry about me. We're worried about you right now. Let's get you some garbage macaroni. You know, like that's where she's at. So I feel like you gotta, you gotta do that, and also avoid making threats under all circumstances.
You don't throw away those pears, I'm gonna kill you.
No, there was one instance. It was one of the reasons I moved out so early. Like when I started YouTube at 19 or 18, started getting paid for it around 19. And I had moved out by like 2021. I could have saved my money. I could have stayed home, saved my money or whatever. But I moved out as soon as possible because I remember getting my first fucking YouTube like paycheck, and I never really had money before. Like I just worked like a shitty mall job before this. So I go to I go to the grocery store and I get those little $1 Michelinas, dinners, because I'm like fucking high roller,
I fucking love those though.
I love them.
Your favorite?
Which was the chicken Alfredo.
Fuck yeah!
I was gonna say that.
Crust on the edge.
Alfredo.
Yes.
But mac and cheese is pretty good also.
The mac and cheese
They got
good.
a weird mac and cheese, but it's their mac and cheese. And I like that
school
about it.
mac and
It's hard
cheese.
to fuck up mac and cheese.
It is. But I bought a bunch and I get it home, and I didn't think like, oh shit, there's no fucking room in the freezer. Like this freezer's packed full. And this is what, like 10, 12 years ago? Yeah, 12 years ago. So I start going through the freezer. I'm like, all right, I'm going to just go through, and if anything's old, I'm just going to throw it out. What it's like time this thing gets cleaned out anyway. And I start dumping stuff in the trash, putting my little Michelinas, sliding in there, like Tetrising it in there. And my mom comes home, and she literally like does the Macaulay Culkin like, thing, seeing what I'm doing. And she's like, oh, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm throwing old stuff away. And she's like, no, you can't do that. And she starts digging through the trash like Oscar the Grouch, pulling this stuff out.
Fuck.
And I'm like, Mom, there's no room in the freezer. Like, I can't take this stuff back to the store. What are you going to do? And she's like, I got it handled. And she takes all this garbage. It's like half thawed, takes all this garbage, like 10-year-old fucking steak. There was berries that were frozen like 20 years ago. She's taking, I'm not kidding, by the way. She's taking it all out in a big pile, and she takes it outside, and she pulls up this like blanket thing on the porch. I wasn't even paying attention. There's a fucking separate freezer. There's like a hidden freezer.
Oh, shit.
And she puts this stuff in this secret like meat cleaver Texas chainsaw freezer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where did this come from? What's going on? And she's
Does
like,
she ever want to like refresh it and like go in and throw away the old berries, put new berries in, or it's just once it's there, it's there?
No, always new berries. There's no such thing as old berries. All berries are new berries.
Eventually, it's just frozen wine, I imagine, at a certain point. But not like there was what, like she made some progress. She cleaned out the cupboard one time because I found macaroni and cheese that like expired at the turn of the fucking millennium, like literally, like I found that. I found a ham that could vote, 20-year-old ham. Like it got so bad. I'm like, Mom, this is disgusting. Nobody's gonna want to come over here. I can't have my girlfriend. I used to have my girlfriend over to her house when she would cook, and I'd be like, whatever she cooks and offers you, run it by me first.
Wow.
Or you will get diarrhea. I've had so many Thanksgivings where I'm in the fucking toilet, just diarrheaing from the fucking 20-year-old gravy she served because I didn't check it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And like, the Andy Griffith theme's playing through the fucking house. So I'm hearing like the whistling as I'm
That's
shitting.
when the gravy was made.
Yeah, pretty much.
Aunt B. That's
Aunt B probably
gravy.
fucking made the goddamn gravy. Yeah. And she'd do this thing. She'd like, so she'd put out like, she'd make a salad, she'd put out the salad dressings, and I'm like, well, the salad can't be old. It'd be brown.
Yeah.
So that's good. But I'm like looking at all the fucking salad dressings, and I'm like,
the salad can't be old. So that's your anchor point for dinner.
That's my anchor
salad.
point. That's my anchor point. I'm like, the chicken she cooked, if that was old, it would smell really bad, So I'm like, fresh chicken, fresh salad, that's good. But I'm like, I checked all the dressings. Every one of them expired like 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm like, just don't eat the salad. Just don't eat.
Well, that's another thing that I read here. It said safety. Make sure they're safe also. So if there is a dangerous food, like Taylor said, sneak those ones out.
Those meats are
take
fucking
those
dangerous.
out. Yeah, if it's
those
gonna
meats are very dangerous.
Get those the hell out.
I read
They're growing botulism in those jars.
Yeah,
it's biological warfare.
She put those in the basement. Here's the thing, though. She put those in the basement, and that motherfucker's got a lock on it. I might have to bust the lock.
Oh, maybe
you're gonna have to. That's just a murder jar.
I could pick the lock. If I bust the lock, she's gonna.
Dude, I'll tell you what. If you want a live stream that I would fucking die for, it's someone like how someone else holds the camera, and you like break that lock off, and you go down into the meat cellar. like I've sent Mom on a vacation to the Caribbean.
I've sent her on a vacation to Costco distribution center where she can see all the pallets of food.
She's going to the Dented Can Museum.
She's taking pictures.
No, I just sent her to Sam's Club. She's like, oh, Like $60 bag of Lucky Charms that's bigger than I am. Okay.
They sell mayo by the gallon.
They sell the whole cow here.
Could you, I don't know, because it's such a mental thing. Could you rationalize it to her if you were having company being like, and this would even be playing into it, but it'd be like, hey, you don't want to waste any of your stockpile. You should go buy fresh stuff for dinner tonight.
That's the thing, man.
It just doesn't work.
She does this thing. I had to yell at her one time, and I hate I had to do this, but she was like, the best way I can put it is like she was harassing my grandmother at a Thanksgiving dinner, trying to get her to like, she does this thing where she tries to like push food on people to where it's like, it gets to a point where it's like rude.
Yeah.
Like how many times can I say, no, I don't want your old turkey. You know what I mean? I don't want your,
your ancient turkey.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I get rude, but after a while I can be very honest and direct in situations like that. You know,
I had to tell her, I'm like, Mom, Grandma does not want to take the stuffing home. Stop trying to force pies on her. She's diabetic. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah, like stop. Like you're gonna.
She can't have that. You know that.
She literally can't have it.
She will die. Like you can't do that. You see those lesions on her feet? That's not from carrots.
Jesus Christ. Well, that's an odd one to deal with. I have never experienced that.
That's rough, dude.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's so weird too. Yeah. Like to deal with. I guess from your point of view, I'm sure.
It's
because like a drug addiction, you can wrap your head around, or I can. You know, like something like that makes sense to me to some extent.
You can be like heroin. Oh, you're addicted to heroin? Well, everyone I've heard talk about heroin says it's very easy to get addicted to.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with drugs, where it's like that person who's on heroin, like you can push them, you can pressure them, you can put them in rehab, you can do whatever. But until they, on their own volition, go, hey, you know what? The external pressures of me not doing this, that's weaker now. It's the internal, like, this is killing me. I hate, like, that's what has to happen.
Yeah, that always happened with GTA. I'd be like playing single player. I'm getting through it. I'm like doing it. And then I'm like, one cheat never hurt. But one cheat is like literally like 5.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like doing like 10 missions. And you're like, this is mindless.
With GTA, I wouldn't cheat on the missions. But if I just wanted to have fun, I would do the fucking all weapons code on my PlayStation 2 and just see how long I could hold up against the cops at like a big building or something.
We called that Popo Dodger. Like when we were playing, we'd be like in like the 11th grade, we're like, let's play Popo Dodger, and it'd be like one PlayStation controller, and like you put in the code for all the guns and then all the full law enforcement. And then it's like go, and then we would just pass the controller and see who lasted the longest without getting wasted or busted.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. Yeah. That's kind of fun.
And then we'd suck each other's cocks.
Yeah. You have to blow the winner.
Good times. Yeah. That's
and the loser.
You
know,
and the loser. You need to like make sure he doesn't feel so bad he doesn't come back.
Everybody's going to need, and you don't want the third guy to feel left out. So
you got to just get everybody, you know.
Yeah. It's just polite.
Round the group out.
And then we stole people's houses. Sorry, continue.
You stole houses?
No.
In GTA, like you just go in there and try and fend them off. I mean, like I didn't play GTA 5. Actually, I didn't play a single Grand Theft Auto game until Grand Theft Auto 5, and I didn't play until 2019.
Yikes!
And it was so much fun.
You're like, I get it. I get it.
Oh, I get why everybody fucking loves this game. It's great. Really? I thought
Vice City
everybody online says
Vice City's best.
Vice City for me was so good because
it's based on Scarface.
It's Scarface, first of all, yes, and I like that music. I like that '80s music. When I'm like
Vice City soundtrack is incredible.
Oh yeah, Bark at the Moon.
I'm on that fucking crotch rocket screaming down the main boulevard, and it's like da 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 da, and I like hit a woman, and she just flies through there over my head, and I'm like, this is life.
I liked how in GTA
the Faggio.
So good.
The Faggio.
I don't think it was called that, was it? I don't think that's how you pronounce it.
That is how you pronounce it.
Is it how you pronounce it?
It's not how you pronounced it.
Okay, I pronounced
Nor
it wrong.
I.
Okay.
But
I can guess how this was pronounced by the players of the game.
They knew what they were doing.
Faggio.
No, I loved Vice City so much. I remember when I got it for Christmas, wondering if my parents knew what they had purchased me. And like, y'all know what's in here? I'm gonna go kill some hookers.
My buddy worked at a GameStop in Oklahoma, and he was like, he tells us all the time, he's like, you have no idea how many people came in when San Andreas came out, and we're literally like, so I can only play as a black man. Is there a code to be a white man?
What?
So no matter what, you're going to be black. And they're like, oh. And he's like, people would come back the day after buying it and being like, so I'm a black guy? And he was like, it was a much more common than you'd think in Oklahoma, like pulling up in this particular GameStop.
I wasn't going to say it, but.
Don't you play most of it first person?
Yeah, no, the old ones you didn't.
And there's voice lines and interactions with your family and friends. So they're all black.
As long as it's funny.
Nah, they're all black too. So it's that black humor, you know.
Oh well, my goodness.
At that point in my life,
now.
At that point in my life and where I was at, I feel like I related to that culture game and more than anything, because like growing up in this Jewish suburb, you'd be surprised how many fucking studio gangsters live around here. There are so many people that strive to be a rapper, like to strive to be a rapper, and they're like, you know, like white Jew, you know, like Sean Shelsky, and he's like, nah, it's Mr. Shells now. Something like that. Like, this is the people. So that's who I was around. So when I'm playing a game and everything is like, you know, like 90s, like California hip hop culture, I'm like, I'm all versed in this, bro. I'm all about this.
Yeah, I grew up in a strongly Jewish neighborhood. I know. I'm connected with the culture.
It's crazy. It was actually, you'd see like there were like the people that like I grew up and around. It's so funny. It was not their life, but they wanted that to be their life. I mean, so did I. Like I'd go to like school, like the music I'd listen to, I'm like blasting rap all the time. There was like a 5-year period where I literally listened to rap only. Then I fell off for an extended period of time because like I hated it for a while. But it was around that time when the game came out, I was like, this is sick. But I also didn't think it was going to be as good as Vice City until the commercial came out. That was the Welcome to the Jungle commercial.
Guns N' Roses.
And yeah, it was such a hype ass trailer for the game.
Was good, yeah.
Because he has the rocket launcher and he has the gang members with him.
And his body type changes. Like
exactly, like being fat or jacked. And I love San Andreas, but there's just Vice City was the fucking one.
My brother actually just texted me like an hour ago and said, today's the 35th anniversary of the release of Appetite for Destruction from Guns N' Roses.
That's so crazy.
So, yeah.
Can't believe your brother and I are on the exact same frequency.
I've been in like, you know, the weird YouTube tangents you get on sometime. I've been enjoying catastrophic dam collapses. Like, you know, like a dam that holds back a river, a body of water. Dude, it's interesting. There are some wild videos of dams, and then the stories of dams collapsing. Do you know there was a dam in China in like 1965, and they started building it, and it was like overseeing 250,000 people, and like the main head architect a couple years in was like, "You only have 5 sluice grates. We need 12 sluice grates. These not high quality." And then he quits, and they're like, "No, you're fired." And so then they leave. They only make it with 5 sluice grates. That really gets sketchy before it's done. So they bring this guy back again, and he goes, "I'm not participating until you add sluice grates and better high quality concrete." And then he quits the second time, and the Chinese government was like, "It's fucking fine. This guy's just a worrywart." Well, soon after it's done, the dam breaks and results in, keep in mind, it's not raining. This is a dam break. It results in the 3rd largest flood in global history and kills 250,000 people.
Oh,
It like flooded an area like the size of Delaware or some shit.
Holy
like it's wild. And then I looked up like dams near me.
What did that right now? Actually,
any big ones?
But yeah, those are fun. Right Damn. Then I started watching natural disaster videos. Those earthquake ones are scary. I'm glad they only upload the clips of the ones where people aren't dying. You know what I mean?
I remember like when that tsunami happened, I remember like watching it on TV, and like we were there. It's like on TV, it's happening live. They're filming it from like a chopper, and you're watching these cars driving, and like people were just like There's a lot of people there. It was like, and people were like, look, they're not even they're never gonna get like the water's right there. Like, look what's gonna happen. And then like the water just was coming. We're like, yeah, see. And then like 4 seconds passed, and you're just kind of like, we're watching thousands of people die right now.
It was 250,000 people that died.
And we didn't like literally in the seconds on the screen there, like it was like thousands of people. You didn't even think about it. Like, you're not even gonna like, they're driving, it's not gonna happen. And then the water comes, and then you're just like, oh, this was actually really fucked up just now. But because of how things are, like I'm just desensitized. Like I remember like when I got to school, this is gonna sound so much more fucked up than it is. It's gonna sound so fucked up. I was like in the 10th grade, 11th grade. And I went to the bathroom. And when I came back from the bathroom, the class was all quiet. And the teacher was like, it was him. He did it. I guess it's some like weird joke, kind of. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And they were like, oh, like while you were gone, there was like an attack on the World Trade Center. And I was like, oh, and the teacher was like, yeah, I was making a joke like you did. I was like, oh, okay. And I like sat down. We're like, class is happening. Okay. And I don't think anything. I'm like, the World Trade Center, okay. It was an attack at the World Trade Center. And like another teacher came and they were like, oh, it was planes and they it's really fucked up. It's super fucked up. And the teacher was like, oh shit. Like, oh no, then it was because they attacked the second one now.
Yeah.
So now it was super weird.
Yeah. They thought it was a mistake.
It was super
They
weird.
thought it was a mistake. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. It was super weird. And now it was like really fucked up. However, they said, oh yeah, another plane happened. I was still there and I was like, okay. And people around me were like, okay. And then shortly after the principal went on and said that school was out after lunch. Like it was the period before lunch that like school's out, like go home because it's fucked up. And I remember being
Canada?
like, yeah. And I remember being like,
we stayed all day in Georgia.
I was literally like, how's this fucked up? I was literally like, I remember like Oklahoma City bombing. School didn't stop. Yeah. Like there was nothing in my head that was like important about it, really. And then I went home, played Counter-Strike, and killed like 150 people for like a couple hours. But like, I'm so desensitized. It was only like when I went like to ground zero or like 2 years later, and like I really thought about it, and I was there, that I was like, yo, this was fuck.